Hello. Well, looky, looky, looky. I have found the 8296 that goes with the 8296 keyboard. For those not familiar, the keyboard on these machines is indeed separate. Some of the machines overseas were called whatever they were, plus an SK for separate keyboard. The good thing about having a separate keyboard is you can move it around a bit. The bad thing about having a separate keyboard is it can get separated from the machine and lost, forever lost. Anyway, it has a, how many pins? Let me just see here. I think it's 25. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes, it has a DB25 connector. And the 13 pins are up, the 12 pins are down. You find the hole in the front. You carefully line it up, and you push it on, and you are connected. And if you want, I gotta be careful I don't drop this, the cable will tuck it, it'll tuck neatly underneath, and it can just sit like that and look like a whole machine. But before this falls down and does something silly, I will move it over here. So I've not had this turned on in quite some time, and now I'm not sure on which side. Oh, I think I feel a reset switch there. Excuse me. I believe over here is the power switch. Let's see what comes up on the screen. Ah yes, Commodore Basic 4.0, 3,173 bytes free. So this does seem, oh yes, to be functioning. It is, of course, 80 columns. And it has a number pad. It's funny, it doesn't have another return key by the number pad, which a lot of things did. And of course I'll get syntax error. Yes. It's funny, this keyboard, from the time I got it, it's had this little sticker on the front that says control. And as much as I appreciate the history of a machine, I would rather it not be there. And the history of this machine can be found on the keyboard. There's a sticker, and it's the typical like sticker that's really impossible. Well, not impossible, but really hard to get off. Looks like there was another sticker here of some sort. I don't know what it was. Anyway, this was used in the Toronto District Christian High School. It was. I don't know for how long. And the funny thing about the 8296, and like, if you are familiar, there are some that came with disk drives built in. Oh, how I long to see and have one of those, but I don't. And chances are I never will. But it's funny, Steve Gray has taken the external drives, which are also very sleek, that match these, and actually mounted them inside as they, well, maybe not as they were supposed to be, but as they are. Anyway, I do need to tidy this machine up. It's kind of dusty, but it does seem to be, oh, I believe I've hit a bad key. What have I done? No, okay. So I am going to print, which is a question mark. Why is it a question mark? Well, that's the short form. And, oh, did the space bar not work? Oh no. And I'm going to try something here. It's nothing remarkable. Let's see how it looks. I've just typed in 10 print quote world of Commodore. Try again. 10 print quote World of Commodore, space, quote, semicolon, colon, go to 10. Run. Yes, that doesn't look bad. It's funny, when you do these little things, it really depends on how many letters there are and how wide the screen is as to whether the thing looks interesting or looks terrible. That looks kind of interesting. I will adapt this program. I will put 15 for I equals 1. Oh, 1, 2, say 333. Quote. Next, I. And 20, I will say, go to 10. And then I will move up, because I can. And this go to 10, I will just wipe it out, hit enter, and it is done. And now we have a 3-line program that says 10, print, quote, World of Commodore, space, quote, semicolon, 15, for I equals 1 to 333, colon, next I, and 20, go to 10. And what does line 15 do? It just fills in time. So this should do its thing. Oh, you know what? I'm going to add something else. Line 5. I'm going to do another thing, print, which is a question mark, and a quote. Once I'm in quote mode, I can do hit the clear home. And then the program is 4 lines. And what does that do? It means that when I run it, instead of just happening to happen where it happens, the screen will clear. Ah, there it is. World of Commodore, World of Commodore, there it is. Maybe even a little slower than if I hold down the arrow key. Anyway, why do I put that up there? First of all, why am I got this machine here? Well, because I found it. And I put it back together with the keyboard. I just wanted to test it out a little bit. But, yuck. Yes, I need to wipe this down. It's not really dirty, just a little dusty. Anyway, the World of Commodore was a show that was put on in Toronto way back in the heyday of the Commodore era at the International Center, and tens of thousands of people would go, almost like a motorcycle show. Or, I guess today, somewhere, although probably not during COVID stuff, they have conventions and things, and there's even the, what do they call it? The everything to do about sex and things and stuff. Anyway, there's, as you know, around the world, there's conventions and meetings and things for most anything. And some of them are trade shows, some of them are open to the public. This one was open to the public. It was. I may adapt this program further. Anyway, but now it carries on in a much smaller scale, and of course last year it was all online. This year it's going to be some online and some in person. And you have to decide, first of all, if you're close enough to Toronto and Mississauga to go, and also if you feel safe enough to go. Otherwise, of course, there will be things available on Zoom. I have not decided if I will participate in person, or if I might do something online, or what I might do. I just don't know yet. I have not decided yet. But anyway, it will be December 5th, 2021, maybe even December 6th. We'll see how it goes. Yes, as I was saying about this program here, it reminds me, there was a program on television, and I don't remember the name of the all-encompassing thing, but the name of the movie thing that I was slightly involved with was called Hide and Seek. And it was about a program that goes off into a computer, or into the world, some networky something or other, and becomes this powerful thing that can protect itself and kill people, and it's a long story. But anyway, Hide and Seek, it was produced by CBC. Anyway, I was involved in that, and one of the things I had to do was make it look like things were happening on a computer screen through a modem. And how did I do that? Well, it was quite simple, really. And I've got to think, how can I adapt this quickly? I'm not sure, because of course with modems back in the day, no, you know what, I can't do it quickly enough right now. Things would come out a character at a time, and across the screen they would go. And it, like this is just like all the letters are coming up. I could do individual print things and individual whatever. I'm not going to do it right now. I will tweak it a little bit as time goes on, so that it looks like it's a 300 baud modem. It does. That's one of the things I had to do for the movie. I did a whole bunch of things for it. And at the time I was in high school, I didn't know what I was getting into. I was probably grossly underpaid. But it all worked out okay. Anyway, it is available if you search online. I think it's on YouTube. It's called Hide and Seek. And I think it was based on a book called The Adolescence of P1. I believe. Yes. Anyway, I'm in the credits as something or other. My brother Richard was actually an extra, and once in a while, but not very often, because he didn't end up sitting in a very good spot. He can be seen, I think, mostly when leaving the classroom scene. And of course, what did they use for the classroom scene? But a room full of pets at Northern Secondary School, late into the night. Anyway, yes. So I'm going to let this machine sort of burn in a bit and test itself. I may tweak this program a little bit, but right now I'll just let it do its thing. You know what I might do is I may put in another line. It's good to space things out by 10 because you never know when you're going to put things in, or even more. I'm going to put J equals J plus 1. And if I'm supposed to be, all efficient, I suppose at the beginning, because you never know if something's been running and the letter J has been worth something, I'll put J equals 0. See how programs grow? From a one-line nothing that just prints something, suddenly we have 6 lines. We have to declare that J equals 0. We clear the screen. We print World of Commodore. We put in a little time delay, and then we have J equals J plus 1. Now, why do I want that to happen? Well, I'm not going to have it printed because it would ruin the symmetry of the World of Commodore. I could have it printed, but I'm not going to. But right now, if I should press run stop, and I should say print J, it will tell me that it has gone through the routine of printing World of Commodore 26 times. So I'm going to let this run, and let's see what happens here. And then when I come up, I suspect I will press run stop, or stop. Well, it says run stop. Anyway, I'll press the key, and I'll put in print J. I suppose I could put something in that if I tap the space bar, it could look for input, and anytime I press the space bar, it could tell me what J is. It could. But I'm not going to do that now, because here we still have a simple little program. But programs just get more complicated, and then they fill RAM. And Anyway, so World of Commodore, December 5th, 2021, in Mississauga at the Admiral Inn. But the best thing, if you are interested in going, is go to Google and put in World of Commodore 2021, or Toronto Pet Users Group, or TPUG, or any of the above, and look for the information. And if you have questions, ask on there. Somebody will answer about how it's all going to work and how it's going to be and what's what. And, yeah. And we'll see in this hybrid model how many people attend and how many people stay online. Maybe by next year it'll just be back to everybody comes and experiences the magic. But above all, stay safe. And if you can't go out, lock yourself in a room with your Commodore computer, program, experiment, play games. If you have the capacity to go online, go online. Relive some of those old games. Right here, this machine is essentially, by the way, a pet. It says 8296. It has extra RAM in it, which very few programs actually took advantage of. But there it is. It's there. I think Paperclip and some of the word processors did. And that was all good. Of course, you could write bigger documents. But then, of course, if you had to go somewhere else and you went to load them into a machine that had less RAM, I'm not sure how that would work out. Anyway, it was all the RAM battles. And some people were very easily fooled into thinking that somehow 640K was a magical number. For example, from what I remember hearing from Bill Hurd, they arrived at CES with the 128 and then saw that the marketing people were touting that the machine was 640K when it wasn't. It was 128. But of course, the IBM compatibles and all that were 640K. So, as I remember his story, he started to design the 512K memory expansion, which once again, there were good things that you could do with this, but not many people really took advantage of it because, of course, if you're writing a program for the whole world and not many people have the RAM expander, then you're limiting your market on what can be done. So I guess, once again, there were programs that would kind of look out there, and if the RAM was there, it could use it. One good thing that came of all that is they did come out with the 1764 RAM expander for the Commodore 64. And, not once again, it was, you know, one of those things that some people used, some people didn't. And there were applications for it. But the good thing was that they finally realized that the Commodore 64 power supply was really not good. And I guess it couldn't handle it. So when you bought a 1764, it essentially came with a Commodore 128 power supply with the appropriate plug so you could use it on the 64. And, generally speaking, you never had to worry about blowing up your 64 with a bad power supply again. So, but that is what marketing people do. They don't check with the people that make things and what's really going to happen. They sit around in some room and say, hey, yeah, it's going to be 640K. When it really isn't. But eventually it was. Anyway. Alright, well, I'm going to let this sit here. And I'm going to continue to search for treasures to investigate. Maybe I can test out some other components and things with this machine. Maybe. I don't know. Oh, by the way, the thing, of course, that's cool about this. One of them is, look. Oh. The monitor turns. Oh, I guess I'm at the... I think it swivels. Oh. Oh, dear. Well... yeah. I think my chair is having a mental breakdown. Oh, here you go. Indeed it is. Indeed. Right. Enough of that. I will take this to the curb. Anyway, thanks. Thanks so much for being here. Always a pleasure. Bye for now. Bye. Bye-bye.